There, folks. Good afternoon. It is the Earthmaster back here on this Wednesday, right? Wednesday, July 19th, 2023, 12:23 p.m. here in California. Latest quake shows a 3.5 into the Alaska area. Did see some further movement overnight here along the west coast, including a 4-pointer inland, a ways away from the plate boundary. So that is an obvious strain that we do have, or obvious sign that we do have some strain out here up against the North American and the Pacific plate boundary. The activity inland was a 4.6, somewhat of a moderate-sized earthquake out here, right around the Eureka area. It looks like just to the west here off Highway 50. That was followed up a couple hours later by a 3.4 and a 3.3. Now, population density out here along 50 is very limited. One of the loneliest highways in America. And in fact, I think it's named the loneliest highway in America. That's going to be Highway 50 that runs through Nevada. Beautiful area if you like the desert. Probably hot out there this time of year as well. So yeah, we're looking at movement here inland away from the plate boundary. We did see some activity stirring up here across Los Angeles last night. Looks like, surprise, surprise, looks like these got downgraded. Both of them, in fact, got downgraded there by the USGS 2.7 and a 2.8. Not for sure why, but that's what the geologists and whatnot are stating. Either way, still seeing some movement across Southern California, more specifically here within the last hour, just south of the, around the Tehachapi Mountains area. This is the Garlock Fault shear zone, showing some activity here with a little cluster of activity, it looks like. Watch this region here. This is always a good indicator of some stress out here across the western portion of the states. Ridgecrest area seeing some movement as well. Not seeing any major swarming around the San Andreas Fault for now. Continue to watch that. A little bit further spotty activity across the Tonopah region as well, out around Mina, Nevada. Two stirring up earlier this morning and some from yesterday as well. Looking at Northern California, pretty quiet up here. Not really nothing to pick up here today. Most of that from yesterday. Pacific Northwest, relatively quiet as well. Into the Yellowstone area, nothing showing up, but I want to double check just to be sure. There is the earthquake there from yesterday. That's going to be that large one. 6.6 that struck out south here into the El Salvador area. That earthquake showing up pretty nicely across the Yellowstone seismograph stations there yesterday. And trying to see what this one is here. You guys see this little earthquake here? It's a long duration event somewhere. Really haven't looked. Oh, I know what that is. That's the 4-pointer. Striking at just after midnight, right? 0:34, 4.6. That will show up there on Yellowstone just after midnight, 0:30. So that's actually a fairly long duration earthquake there. Doesn't look like they've had any effect here on Yellowstone. No swarming going on for now. Just goes to show you that some of those earthquakes there can definitely show up at a far distance. All right, the rest of the states, a little bit of movement south of Austin, outside of San Antonio, near Pleasanton. What's out there in Pleasanton? Anyone know what's out in Pleasanton, Texas? Let's take a look. I know Texas is definitely riddled with oil fields, and there's definitely some nearby. This isn't like a huge, massive field of them, but there was a 3.9 last night. All of these are from last night. Didn't get added onto the map until later, I guess. But definitely seeing them out there in some of these fields. Not for sure when that satellite imagery was taken. But as you can see listed here across the map, a lot of these oil fields there listed by name. All right, eastern portion of the country, pretty quiet. Still seeing some aftershock movement here following yesterday's 6.5. Seen a handful of those, including a 5-pointer. and many other ones. If you look on the Earthquake 3D globe here, it's just been pretty much pancaked on one another here, with aftershock activity in the smaller range as well. South America, got a couple smaller earthquakes here down around Chile. Some of that earthquake activity there from yesterday. Let's see what's going on out here. Looks like we did have one 5.0 into the Peru area, 137 kilometers deep here into this portion of the trench. It's from just about 3 o'clock this morning. South Sandwich Islands, way down here. Some deeper, go back down here, there we go. Some deeper activity being triggered down here in the South Sandwich Trench. That's 161 kilometers deep into the subduction zone. That means strain is further building upstream. We'll watch that there potentially for some further movement. That was a 5.4. 9 o'clock this morning here, my time. Atlantic Ocean, pretty quiet and clear. Far as the earthquake 3D globe goes, pretty quiet, looks like. Not a whole lot going on through the Atlantic. Mediterranean areas, some movement there in Romania from last night, and some smaller quakes there throughout the Mediterranean. Now, we did see a 4.9 stirring up here. That's going to be this earthquake. In eastern Afghanistan, relatively deep, 215 kilometers there. So we'll watch for some further movement across this area throughout the day today. Aside from that, let's see what we got. Java Trench, awfully quiet here today. For the most part, it is. Over here around Indonesia, Papua New Guinea, showing some activity. Let's see what we got stirring up over here. You can definitely see a little bit of adjustment taking place here. 5.2, the last earthquake here in the New Guinea area. 23 kilometers deep. Some previous activity here just west and to the east of this region. And I believe that's due to the activity that we've seen here last night into the Tonga region. That was almost a 600 kilometer deep 4.6, applying further strain across this region. So we'll continue to watch that area. New Zealand, let's see. I see some threes down here across the Kermadec Trench. So let's go check it out here just real quick and see what's going on. 3.7 5 hours ago here. That's going to be listed just outside of the Wellington area on the South Island side, it looks like. Right on the plate boundary. Now, it was reported, it looks like about 49 reports of that earthquake. Mostly weak to light shaking. I should definitely show up, right? 3-pointer down there around South Island. That's going to be what looks like this earthquake right here. Showed up pretty nicely. But that's about the only one showing up. All these other little spiky ones are just some very small microquakes across the area. All right, the Japan region did see a 4.4 early this morning into the Japan Trench. That's about 49 kilometers deep. Nothing major going on there for now. Did you see they found this odd-looking fish over here across the one of these areas? They call it the was it the doomsday fish or the apocalyptic fish? Normally a huge, weird-looking fish way down there in the deeper areas of the ocean they found here recently. A lot of the natives there tend to think that it's a prelude to a mega quake. I know they found some before and we never had any major earthquakes, but as always, we like to keep an eye on that when strange signs pop up. Let's see what else we got. The big island of Hawaii, Mauna Loa, showing a little bit of activity. 3.1. Well south here. Into the Alaska area, looks about the same as yesterday. Little one north of Anchorage, a 3.5 near Glacier View, about 33 kilometers deep. So we'll watch the areas here today. I still think the West Coast region lighting up like this might want to be on guard. Regardless if they drop these magnitudes down or not, people felt them throughout the area, and it does sit on the Puente Hills Fault, which is capable of producing a 7.1 to 7.5 right underneath this area. And as you can see, that is a concrete jungle right there. That's a lot of a lot of businesses, a lot of houses, a lot of population out here, and it stretches a long distance there. I don't know if you've ever had to drive through Los Angeles area, but it seems like it takes a long time. So whenever I head down south, I try to avoid this area, and I've been down there a couple times. I'm just not a big fan of the big cities like that. Either way, these earthquakes striking down there into the thrust fault, which is a blind thrust fault, the Puente Hills that is, which means it does not rupture up here at the surface. Not visible anyway, that's why they call it a blind one. But it sits down there a little ways, and it's an active fault system. And again, capable of producing some larger scale quakes. All right, let's check out space weather activity. What do we have going on here? Well, we're still kind of recovering from the proton event. This is like day number 3 now of elevated proton densities here into the polar regions. Looks like it's toning down slightly here across the southern area of the globe, or on the flat scale model Earth. We're still looking at a little bit of flaring going on currently as well. Let's see what we got for flares. Nothing. Let's see what's going on here. Is the SDO site not working? Again? Blackout going on here? Look at this. Nothing going on. I know it's not me. Look at that. Just black. Unless we're looking at... this is kind of interesting here. They do have an older image on there. Is this one working? This is working. Not for sure about the UV filters. It's possible could be going through that transition of where it's blacked out. I don't know. We'll look here in just a second. Either way, looking at this new sunspot region here on the northeastern limb, it looks massive. We'll watch this though in the days ahead. We are center disk right now, and center with the Earth-Sun plane with this massive sunspot region here. It still looks like it's somewhat unstable, not super complex here, but we'll watch this in the coming hours as that is directly lined up with Earth. The rest of these sunspots here do harbor some potential. We'll watch those as well, but I want to see what this one does throughout the hours and days ahead. Looks like that is where that flare is currently coming from. There was, looks like maybe a small M flare. Let's see, 3363. That was well, that was at 1725, so that's going to be maybe that one that we've seen showing up. But again, this sunspot region is way over there on the southwestern limb. It's still sparking some flares. Pretty crazy. That's going to be that M flare right here coming down from that, looks like. But as far as the UV filter here, I just don't know. That's a little odd. Very odd. Just nothing coming in here. Site's functionable, but no imagery coming in. So either way, looks like 99% chance for a C flare, M flare at 50, X flare around 20% chance still. Proton event still kicking in. That may last for another day or two. The auroras right now pretty quiet. Not a whole lot going on. No major forecasted event. Looks like maybe on the 20th here. The detailed forecast shows it looks like UTC time of July 20th, which obviously would be sometime tomorrow around this time or a little bit later. We could see things get slightly elevated to looks like maybe the G1 class storm area. Again, I'm not really expecting much. It's just going to be a glancing blow from that CME that was produced during that long M flare event here a day or so ago, 2 days ago. There's Earth here, just barely getting a glancing blow. The brunt of it, of course, over here, well away from the planet. So we'll see how this plays out, though. But either way, they're forecasting potentially a minor G1 storm. All right, Storm Prediction Center here today, looking at severe weather across portions of the plains. And only a they added a 5% chance up here into areas around Wisconsin, it looks like. Minnesota area. That's going to be the kind of the browner color up here. 2% does extend around it, so just heads up if you're in this area today. Watching the weather might be a key idea. And some hail threats out there as well. We're still baking out here across the California region. 92 degrees here at 1240. Only supposed to be 101 before things ramp up here over the next few days. Again, thunderstorm forecast throughout the Four Corners and the Great Basin area. Quite a bit of thunderstorms out there, it looks like. All right, folks, we're going to jump off here. Have a good day. Again, stay aware of what's going on. Got another earthquake coming in here just outside of San Diego, 1.1. It just gives me a good indicator here that things are elevated across this area of the state. So just keep that in mind. Expect potentially for some more earthquakes to stir up here soon. Take care. We'll catch you guys back here a little bit later today. Peace out.